Welcome back, students. So, today we are going to start with a new chapter, chapter number 18, that is ecosystem. So, exactly what is an ecosystem? And what are its types? Then, how to find out which ecosystem we are surviving in? All these things we are going to discuss in this chapter number 18. So you see, what is an ecosystem first of all? The surrounding world around us is made up of living as well as non-living things, non-living factors around us, and they together combine to form an ecosystem where we are surviving. So, living are also termed as biotic factors, and non-living organisms are also termed as abiotic factors. So two types of ecosystem we are finding around us. Two types of factors are included in them, and the living ones are the biotic and non-living ones are the abiotic factors. So you see, ecosystem, the factors that are included here are either biotic or abiotic. Biotic means the living things, and abiotic means the non-living things or organisms or objects. So these are the two main parts of any ecosystem. Okay. Now, which factors do you find in your surrounding? We find a building, a tree, isn't it? Dogs, cats, cows. These are the living things. They come under the biotic factors. And abiotic factors are the buildings, the furniture, then water, air for breathing. All these are the non-living factors. So we put them under abiotic factors. So we can actually classify biotic and abiotic factors further. So first of all, let us go for abiotic factors. Abiotic factors can be physical or chemical. Physical factors and chemical factors. Physical factors are going to include your air, water vapor, minerals, soil, sunlight, vapors, sunlight. You can see these all factors are necessary for our survival. Living beings cannot survive without air, water, vapor, sunlight, or certain minerals and soil. Minerals, soil. We all cannot live without them. Though we are living things, we cannot live without these physical abiotic factors. Okay, and chemical abiotic factors can be further classified into organic and inorganic. Organic and inorganic factors. Okay, organic factors are the proteins, carbohydrates, lipids that are being processed in our bodies and we need it for our growth. They are the organic factors. Organic factors include proteins, carbohydrates, lipids, fats. All these things come under the organic factors, which are a part of chemical abiotic factor. Okay, but inorganic factors, if you think about, are going to be the gases in the air around us, like hydrogen, oxygen, nitrogen, as well as certain minerals that are found in the soil, like calcium, iron, potassium, sodium. So hydrogen, oxygen, nitrogen, then calcium, potassium, phosphorus. What else? Sodium, Na. So these are all the chemical formula of sodium, potassium, iron is Fe. So these are in short the abiotic factors which are necessary for survival of life on this earth. Without these factors, physical as well as chemical, there cannot be healthy life on earth. Okay, so abiotic factors among the ecosystem, though they are non-living, they are very much necessary for survival of living organisms, that is animals and plants. On the other hand, if you come to biotic factors you see are the living factors, living things around us. Biotic factors are going to introduce, you see, producers. Producers produce their own food with the help of photosynthesis process. Isn't it? So producers, then we come to consumers, and we do have decomposers. Biotic factors, living things on this earth, in the ecosystem around you, have producers. Producers include all type of green plants. We all know that because they are autotrophic. Autotrophic means they can produce their own food with the help of chlorophyll and sunlight. Then we have consumers. Consumers include all the animals which are non-green, not having chlorophyll, so they cannot produce their own food. They are heterotrophs. Heterotrophs means those who cannot make their own food. Autotrophs who can produce their own food. Heterotrophs who cannot produce their own food. Consumers and decomposers cannot produce their own food in nature. Then animals on the basis of their feeding habit can be classified into primary consumers, secondary consumers, and tertiary consumers. So consumers, on the other hand, which include all the animals, can be said to be primary consumers, secondary consumers, and tertiary consumers. Mostly you see primary consumers are vegetarians, they are herbivores, they depend for their food on producers, that is plants. Secondary consumers depend upon these primary consumers for their food, and tertiary consumers depend upon the secondary consumers for their food. Examples you can take: those who eat plants like insects like grasshopper. Here you can say grasshopper. Then you have those who eat grasshopper. It could be a frog. Frogs feed upon grasshoppers, and in turn frogs are being eaten away by snakes. So you see, this type of chain of food is going on among the consumers. So the beginners are always the producers. Producers create food. Plants are eaten by the herbivores. Herbivores are eaten by the secondary consumers. Secondary consumers are eaten away by the tertiary consumers. Tertiary consumers can also be eaten by the apex consumers, but that is not much important at this stage for you. So producers, consumers, and finally we come up to decomposers. Decomposers actually include microbes. All type of microorganisms like bacteria, fungus come under the category of decomposers. What they do? The dead bodies of producers and any type of consumers, after their death, the dead bodies are being decomposed by these bacteria so that everything goes back to nature, and all the elements of nature, air, water, soil, all the things, 5 elements we all know, fire and air, are returned back to nature by the decomposers, and they are the very important part of any ecosystem. Without decomposers, our earth will never be clean. It will be full of dead bodies of plants and animals, isn't it? So decomposers play a very important major role in cleaning of any ecosystem. So this is a basic concept map of our ecosystem. Biotic, abiotic. Biotic further classified into producers, consumers, decomposers. Abiotic further classified into physical characteristics and chemical factors. So these all concept map of ecosystem we have to remember for our higher classes also. In higher classes also we are going to study about these in much detail. At this level it is only on the primitive level, and that we need to learn and understand by heart, so that in higher classes it will be easy for you to study. Now you see, the organic substances, which are carbohydrates, proteins and lipids from dead bodies of plants and animals, are converted into inorganic substances like hydrogen, oxygen, calcium, iron, sodium, potassium, etc. by whom? Again the microbes, microorganisms. Therefore, microbes are said to be decomposers. Okay? And here I hope we should end this class so that you can study in detail about the ecosystem and its factors. And further then we can move on to different structures of ecosystem in the next class. Okay? So make this concept map in your fair copy and start with your new chapter, that is ecosystem. So bye all of you.